Good afternoon, class. Thank you so much. We are here for the geography lesson. We are using a virtual mode of transmission. So I am welcoming all of you. And then this lesson, it is based on the topic of types of volcanoes. So are you guys all right? Are you fine?
Yes.
Thank you so much. My name is Manager Ishmael, Mr. I Manager, your facilitator for today's lesson. So we can begin with the presentation. Here, let me just ask you a question, learners. I want to take you back. How many natural disasters do you know, or what do you know about natural disasters? Or you can just list the types of natural disasters you know. Okay, I can see your hand is up. Thank you so much. Do you know any natural hazards or disasters?
Yes.
Okay, can you list anyone?
Droughts.
Droughts. Okay, thank you so much. And then we move here. The common natural disasters that we have, we've got volcanoes, and then we've got earthquakes, we've got tsunamis, we've got hurricanes, we've got droughts, as you mentioned. And then for the purpose of our lesson, as I've already indicated, that we've got the common ones that we know, meaning we've got drought, earthquakes, volcanoes, as you can see here, and then tsunamis, as I've already mentioned, the landslides, the tornadoes, the floods, as you've already indicated, we've got a drought here. So these are the common natural hazards or natural disasters that we have. And then for the purpose of this lesson, we choose one natural hazards, which are volcanoes. So the focus area or the focus of this lesson today will be focusing on volcanoes, as I've already indicated at the beginning of our lesson. And then in terms of volcanoes, my children, for this lesson, these are the objectives of the lesson. So these are the things that we must be able to do after this presentation or after this lesson. We are going to, at the end of the lesson, you learners must be able to list two main volcanic activities, and you should also be able to list three ways of classifying volcanoes, how we classify our volcanoes. And then you must be able to also list three types of volcanoes, meaning we'll have three types of volcanoes. You should know them. And then you should also be able to name the characteristics of each type of volcano we will be focusing on. And then finally, you should be able to identify the types of volcanoes that erupt or that occur worldwide, meaning you should be able, you will know out of this lesson that, okay, for example, in America, there was this kind of volcano which erupted when, all of those things. So these are the objectives of our lesson, or the things that you should be able to know at the end of the lesson. Are you still with me? Are you still with me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I thought maybe network was giving us problems. Okay. As I've already indicated that we've got two main volcanic activities. So the first one, we've got extrusive volcanic activity. And the second one, we've got intrusive volcanic activities. Extrusive meaning outside, X, and then intrusive meaning inside. So when we talk of extrusive volcanoes, we are talking of the types of volcanoes that are taking place above or outside the Earth's surface. And then when we are talking about intrusive volcanoes, we are talking about the types of volcanoes that are erupting or that are taking place inside the Earth's surface, meaning they are taking place below the Earth's surface. Okay? And then the next slide, we are focusing on the second portion or the second part of our slides. We are talking about the ways in which we classify or we categorize our volcanoes. So first one, remember from the previous lesson, we've got the volcanoes which are taking place outside or which are erupting outside the Earth's surface. Those are extrusive volcanoes. And then we've got volcanoes which are erupting below the Earth's surface. Those are intrusive volcanoes. So here, my learners, we've got ways of classifying volcanoes. The first one, we've got active volcanoes, and then we've got dormant volcanoes, and then we've got extinct volcanoes. So what am I talking about when I am talking about these volcanoes? Active volcanoes, they are volcanoes that are regularly erupting and then or which are still active, and then they erupt once in 20 years. So those are the volcanoes which are still active. And then the second one, we've got dormant volcanoes. Those are volcanoes that has not erupted for a very long time. Maybe they erupted something like 100 years ago. And then we've got extinct volcanoes. These are the volcanoes which has not erupted for a very, very long time, and they show no sign of erupting again. So these are the volcanoes which has last erupted or occurred few thousand years ago. So we've got active volcanoes. They last erupted 20 years ago. They are still active. And we've got dormant volcanoes. Those, they have last erupted few or very long time ago, something like few hundred years. And then we've got extinct volcanoes. Those, they show no sign of erupting again at all. They have been since erupted 1,000 years ago. Thank you. And then we move to the next slide. Remember, up to now, we've dealt with main volcanoes, focusing on extrusive and intrusive, and we've dealt with classification of volcanoes, meaning active volcanoes, they are still active, dormant, long time ago, extinct, and then those ones, they've last erupted very long time ago, 1,000 years back. And then here we've got the main types of volcanoes. The first one, we've got cinder cone volcanoes, And the second one, we've got shield volcanoes, and then we've got composite volcanoes. So these, my learners, they are our three main types of our volcanoes. So now we are going to the next slide, or the next slides, we are going to unpack our main types of volcanoes. And then the first one we said is the cinder cone volcanoes. And then cinder cone volcanoes, I want you to observe closely here. We've got characteristics here. The first one, when we talk of cinder cone volcanoes, they are the tallest volcanoes. As you can see, they are tall volcanoes and they've got steep cone shape. If you check the cone here, I mean the shape here, it is cone just like an ice cream. So this is our shape of cinder cone volcanoes, and they've got a bowl-shaped crater. When we talk about the crater, we're talking about this opening of volcano here. This is where the lava will come out. So this one, cinder cone volcano, they've got a bowl-shaped crater, or the opening, it is shaped like a bowl, as you can see here. And then this kind of volcanoes, they erupt violently. They are not quiet when they erupt. They are so violent. So these are the characteristics which help you, my learners, to identify these types of volcanoes. So let's check, let's just observe the difference. Check here, check the picture, and check the characteristics. They are tall, they are steep shaped, and they are the crater or the opening, it is shaped like a bowl, and I said they erupt violently. So let's observe the second type of volcano. So here we've got the second type of volcano. We've got shield volcanoes. This kind of volcanoes, if you observed the previous picture correctly, there is a difference here. The previous picture, the cinder cone volcano, was the tallest. This one, if you can check, it is spread over a wide area. The difference, the previous one was tall, this one, it is spread. If you check properly, first characteristic, we are seeing shield volcanoes, they spread over a wide area, and then they are the largest volcanoes. They are not the tallest, but they are the largest. They occupy a larger area. And this kind of volcanoes, they are formed from thin lava. The lava that comes out of the Earth's surface, it is thin. And then if I want you to observe something here, the previous volcano, we said it has a vent, a shaped crater, a bowl-shaped crater. It has one main vent, the cinder cone volcano. And then if you check here, we've got many vents. We will have a vent here, an opening, and then we'll have an opening here, we'll have an opening here, we'll have an opening here. These kind of volcanoes, they've got the many openings at the same time. So this is the second volcano. I want you to observe the third one. The third one, we've got composite volcano. By its definition, composite means it is something that is composed of different layers. If you check the physical feature of the first volcano and the second one and the third one, the composite volcano, the first characteristics by its definition, we're saying it is composed of different layers of ash and lava. So this volcano, they are built on layers of ash and lava. And then they've got different layers. As you can see the picture here, we've got the first layer, the lava will come out and form the first layer, and then the lava will continue again. The first layer will dry out and then form some ashes, and then the lava will continue to come out, of the vent, and then exactly as it comes, it forms another different layer, and then it forms another layer, it forms another layer, another layer, another layer, up until it becomes something like a mountain like that. That is why we are saying it has a different layers. And then I want you to observe something here. On a shield volcano, which is the previous volcano, we said it is composed, or it is formed from a thin lava. So here we are saying composite volcanoes, they are formed by thick. There's a difference between thin and thick. So we've got thick lava forming our different layers. And then the other characteristics we're saying, it erupts violently. So this means, if we can remember correctly, here, the first volcano, which was a cinder cone volcano, and composite volcanoes, they share one characteristic. They both erupt violently. Can we see this? And then we go to our next slide. Remember, one of the objectives, I said you must be able to identify these volcanoes worldwide. Up to so far, we've got 3 main volcanoes. We've got shield volcano, we've got composite volcano, and cinder cone volcano. So now let's check around the world where these types of volcanoes have erupted and when last did they erupt. Remember, I talked about 3 categories of classifying the volcanoes. I've said we've got active volcanoes, which are still having a chance of erupting again, and then we've got dormant, which have last erupted long time ago, 100 years, and then we've got extinct volcanoes, which has last erupted over 1,000 years ago. So now let's check worldwide the types of volcanoes that we have. The first one, we've got shield volcano. Its name, it is Mauna Kea. It has erupted in Hawaii. This is the region where it was erupted. And then the height, remember, we said shield volcanoes, they are the largest volcanoes, but not in terms of height. We said the cinder cone, they are the tallest, but remember, shield volcanoes, they are the largest. But here we see something very interesting. We've got 4,207 meters high on shield volcano, and then it was last erupted on 2460 BC. So this, we can classify it as extinct volcano because of it has last erupted over more than 1,000 years ago. And then here we've got a composite volcano. Its name, Mount Cotopaxi. It was erupted in the California. This is the region where it was erupted. And then the height here, we see something very interesting. Composite, they've got characteristics of being the tallest as well, just like cinder cone volcanoes. And then here we see that the height of this kind of volcano was 5,897 meters high. And then it was last erupted in 2015. So here we can say 2015 from today, it is something like not more than 10 years ago. So this means this Mount Cotopaxi volcano, which is the composite volcano, which has happened or erupted in California, it's still active because of it was erupted within a 20 years cycle. And then we've got a cinder cone volcano here, Volcano Rumoka. This one has happened in Africa, DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. It was, remember, Sindakum are the tallest volcanoes, but here we can see that it was not the tallest as compared to other types of volcanoes because of it was over a kilometer high, which is 1,711 meters high. And then it was last erupted 1977, so over 100 years ago. So it means this one is a dormant volcano, as I've already indicated. And then colleague, my learners here, we've got a mini discussion. Remember, I told you that I'm going to engage you in the lesson. So now let's just do a quick recap, my learners. Here we've got a mini discussion. We are going to match the picture of the volcano with the name of that particular volcano. So we are going to, we've got names here. We've got shield volcano, we've got cinder cone volcano, and composite volcanoes. Now I want us to check. Okay, let's check. A, what type of volcano is this one? You don't have to raise up your hand. Just one of you just tell us, or okay, fine. A is what type of volcano?
Composite volcano.
A is composite volcano. You are right, because of, as we can see, it is composed of layers, isn't it? Thank you. And now let's check B. B, what type of volcano is this?
Shield volcano.
B is shield volcano because we said shield volcano, they have a wide, they occur on a wide area, isn't it? They are the largest volcanoes. They occupy a larger space. And now let's check C. What type of volcano is this? C?
Cinder cone.
Cinder cone volcano. You are very correct, my learners. Here, I give you 100% because of you were able to identify the diagram versus the name of the volcano. So thank you. Now we can check here. You are going to have a discussion amongst yourselves. Our discussion is going to go like this. You are going to list two main volcanic activities. You are going to give 3 ways of classifying volcanoes. You are going to name 3 types of volcanoes, and you are going to give 2 characteristics of each type of volcano. Can you understand? You understand the questions?
Yes.
Okay. Me and yourself, now we are going to do point 1 and point 2, and then these ones you're going to discuss amongst yourselves. So now we are going to check, let's check bullet point number 1. List 2 main volcanic activities. The first one.
Intrusive and intrusive.
My learners are very brilliant. We've got 2 main of volcanic activities, extrusive and intrusive, isn't it? I would like to pose a follow-up question on that one. Extrusive, they happen where? Is it inside or outside? Perfect.
Outside.
Perfect. Thank
They
you.
happen outside.
Thank you. And then obviously intrusive below the Earth's surface or inside, isn't it? Okay, very brilliant. And then we are going to go to slide number 16. This one is going to be your homework because of, remember, the previous point is your class discussion where I said you will do point number 3 and point number 4. So now here, your homework goes like this. You're going to draw a structure of volcano type. You are going to choose among the 3. You draw a structure of the volcano and you give a name for that volcano, And then as well, you are going to list 3 characteristics of each of that kind of volcano. Do you understand the homework?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Now, if you understand, so up to here we are. Do you have any question, my learners, about the topic that we've just discovered? Any question?
No, gracious, it is like, I'm so
Okay, so this brings us to the end of our lesson or presentation, but I will still want to remain. Is there anyone who is having a question? You are fine. Okay.
Yes.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank you very much. You've been a very wonderful audience, and then I am grateful to your participation. Now you can take this opportunity to review my skills of presentation on the score sheet that you have. You can now review. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.